Welcome to this special streaming edition of the News at 6 while football's on our TV station. For the first time in a long time, the Triad saw some serious snow. Here's what it looked like in Greensboro just a few hours ago as winter weather blew through. What a pretty sight. Sarah Cobb in Walnut Cove even shared this photo of nearly 2 inches piling up. It pretty much only stuck in the grass and most of the roads are clear, but 2 out of 3 lanes on the loop in Greensboro were closed down this afternoon for about an hour. Police have not said what caused this wreck, but you can see a winter mess all over that pavement. Well, the snowfall is done for the night. You can see that in our live cam right there. Our eyes now turn to the potential for icy roads going into tomorrow. Just as schools were supposed to return, Claire.
Yeah, but we're certainly keeping an eye for the possibility for slick spots overnight tonight and into early tomorrow, especially for the kiddos that are trying to get to school and for you that may be going back to work. Overnight tonight, we're back in the lower 30s, right at around freezing. Plus, there's potentially a chance for some freezing rain overnight tonight. This little burst that we saw earlier of snow and sleet moving through the Triad, long gone as it continues to push east. The main system continuing to head our way. That's going to be bringing in moisture overnight tonight and into early on in the day for tomorrow. Winter radar right now not seeing much, but we're going to be seeing more in the coming hours, especially overnight. You're going to want to make sure that you are being very cautious on the roadways. Dwayne Young said this from Stokes County, snow up to around 3 inches over there, and then the snow in Eden. It just looks like a winter wonderland. You can see in the backdrop the trees and the big giant snowflakes coming down. Haven't seen that in a while for our area. Not very cumulative here in the Triad though, for the most part up to around ½ an inch, but places like up there in Stokes and Surry County saw between 2 to 3 inches. Winter weather advisory to our northern counties does exist until 7 o'clock for tomorrow evening due to minor effects from some freezing rain possible overnight. Winter storm warning accumulation up to 1 to 5 inches for our mountains as well as to our north, including Patrick County. Temperatures right now are in the upper 20s and lower 30s. Again, our winter weather impact alert lasts until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening due to the fact that we could be seeing some freezing rain overnight, plus an isolated brief snow shower into tomorrow evening. We're watching this system continue to approach our area, bringing in the majority of that moisture overnight tonight into early for tomorrow. This is when we could start to see those northerly winds kind of push in a little bit of moisture and an isolated shower, maybe even a snow shower for central North Carolina by the evening. It will be short-lived, and I'm not expecting it to be very impactful either for the area. High pressure is going to build in there afterward, and so is the cold weather. I'm expecting us to only be in the 30s for the next several days, at best around 40 degrees. This is when we see that moisture come in very early tomorrow morning, and depending on the freezing line where temperatures drop at or below freezing, we could be seeing some freezing rain for a couple of hours into the early morning hours by around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. That's when everything is expected to turn over to rain, and then you don't have to worry as much about the driving conditions. But we are still keeping an eye on that burst of possible snow heading into Monday afternoon and into Monday evening. 7-day forecast, next couple of days behind this.
Now, because of the winter weather and the freeze potential, some schools have already announced closures for tomorrow. Rockingham County, Surry County, Stokes County, and Mount Airy City schools will be closed tomorrow. We're expecting to see more closures and delays. Make sure to check out WFMYnews2.com before you head to bed tonight. The snow caused mixed reaction from some people. Our Joseph Leonard talked about people in the Triad about what it was to them. Here's his latest from Brown Summit.
Well, we've driven a few miles north here to Bryan Park and Brown Summit, and over the past hour or so, we've seen that freezing rain, ice, and snow kind of slow down, and at this point, it seemed to have stopped. But as you can see, there's still some snow and ice sticking to the ground here. It's covering parts of the park, especially the roofs, every one of them camouflaged in white. And now with that wintry mix moving out of the Triad, our meteorologists are warning about some possible freezing rain later on tonight. Now, on our way over here, we did see a lot of cars on the roadways still driving over roads that were still covered in snow, ice, and still wet from the rain earlier today. Now, as the sun goes down, that's something we're going to keep our eye on. And if you do have to drive somewhere tonight, please drive safely. Reporting in Brown Summit, Joseph Leonard, WFMY News 2.
Because of the weather, the Greensboro Science Center is canceling the last night of the Winter Wonder Lights. If you have tickets, email them for a refund. They're also delaying opening tomorrow until 10 a.m. With the snowfall today, that meant some pets got their first snow experience. Take a look at this cat, yes, on a leash, just in awe of what's on the ground. Maybe even a little freaked out there. To stay on top of the winter weather going into tomorrow, download our free WFMY News 2 app and make sure you have your alerts turned on. Developing now, the SBI is investigating an officer-involved shooting. Winston-Salem police say they were responding to a call and heard several people screaming inside this house, including children. As the door opened, officers say they saw a man with a knife.
While attempting to communicate with Mr. Dumabandi, he charged at the officer with a knife. In response to these actions, the officer discharged their weapon.
Police say the man was taken to the hospital where he is in critical but stable condition. This all happened right after 11 last night on Zachary's Keep Court. The officers and everyone else in the house were not injured. Police say this man has a long history of run-ins with the law.
Mr. Dumabandi has 11 charges, including 2 counts of assault on female and 3 counts of assault on a government official.
We're working to learn more about his criminal history and how this happened. We hope to have an update for you tomorrow morning when the courts open back up. Moving over to Greensboro, police say an 18-year-old is dead after arriving at the hospital with a gunshot wound to his head. Officers say Zion Clinton showed up to the hospital around 10:30 last night. Just over 12 hours later, he died from his injuries. Police are investigating this as a homicide, making it the 3rd homicide the city's had just 5 days into 2025. Remember, the snow has stopped for now, but freezing rain might be on the way. Plus, all that stuff that fell could refreeze, making the roads a mess. Make sure to stick with WFMY News 2 all night long. We'll be back on TV after the Golden Globes and right here on WFMY Plus.